Welcome to Sam Outside. I'm Sam and I'm outside taking a walk. That's right. I'm out here today with Mr. Indiana Bones. Walking is one of the most powerful, life-changing habits that I've dedicated myself to in the past 10 years. Hey, we've been walking most of our entire lives. And don't take that for granted. There are thousands who wish they had the capacity to move the way that you do. All right. So start with that. Don't take it for granted. We have people with mobility issues living happy, successful, contributing lives to society, but they do want to do what it is you do, and you take it for granted. So I know that we all walk, right? But you can't consider it exercise. Don't count the steps. And I mean, a lot of us have devices that count our steps, but those steps, when you get up to go get your coffee or to go to the bathroom or, to get to your car or to go to the office, those don't actually count because it's not done with intention, and it's not done for the length of time or with the intensity or with the impact that actually counts as exercise. So walking as exercise is what I'm talking about today. Now, it does take your body a couple moments to register that what it's doing is challenging, and to flip the switch from, hey, this is what I need to do to get from point A to point B, to, hey, we've been doing this for a while. It's not easy. And it feels like we're going to be doing it for a little bit longer. It's exercise. All right. So what happens to your heart rate? What happens to your blood pressure? What happens to the hormonal changes in your physiology happens within the first 5 minutes. All right. So it's after that. So that's only starting to change. So if you want to get the benefits of an actual walk as exercise, it's not so much about the steps. It's about the duration. It takes your body a little bit of time to understand that what it's doing is exercise. Now, just think of it, even just as working out. We're talking about weightlifting or strength training, all right? So carrying your groceries from the car to your house, or from the store to your vehicle, that's not exercise. That's just doing something hard, right? It's physically hard, it's challenging, but it's not enough to count as exercise because your body doesn't understand that it's doing something that's going to require continued effort, and you're not breaking down the muscle fibers, not breaking down the tissue. You're not starting the engagement for growth and change. So it's the same with walking as exercise. All right. So you need a moment to get your body into that act, to engage your circulatory system, your respiratory system, your heart muscle, right, the muscles in your body. But what walking does, oh man, you got to give it 5 to 10 minutes just to get there. But you don't need to do more than that, because once you get there, that's when it starts. So if you can only commit, if you only have the capacity for 5 to 10 minutes, do it. But if you've got 20 minutes to a half hour, awesome. Now, for most people, that is the challenge. It's finding the time. It's finding the place. It's finding the space to find that ability to add enough discomfort for growth and change, but not so much that it inconveniences and it takes away from their quality of life, their other responsibilities. That's why you need to make it a habit. So if you're not in the habit of walking, find 10 minutes. And if I can recommend when those 10 minutes are, try and do it right after a meal, right? That's when you're really going to get the effects of what it does to other aspects of your physiology. It will improve your digestion, so you won't get that bloated feeling after a meal. It will also target the blood sugar first, right? So we're talking about insulin resistance. It will burn the sugars before it starts burning those other aspects. What you need to do after those 5 to 10 minutes is your body's got basically 2 different kinds of fats, right? It's got the white fat, right? That's the belly fat, right? And then it's got the brown fats. So you're not going to transfer, your body's not going to metabolize the brown fats first, right? It's going to change the white fats into brown fats, right? And then the stuff that really counts as weight loss, right? That's the other type of fat. So what you need to do is start to put in the time and the effort to get your body from one state to another state. That's when it's called exercise. I've got a number of videos out there, and I do participate in a number of different kinds of walking. So let's start with weighted walking, right? I'm not wearing any weight right now because the intensity with which it takes for me to walk in the snow like this, it's just a little bit more. It's different on my knees. I feel it It's different in the amount of energy that it requires. I'm also walking on the ice, right? It's relatively new ice. And just to keep my wife happy, I've decided to forego my weighted vest while I'm walking on the ice, right? Another 40 pounds. I don't need it on the ice. So I'm wearing another 4 pounds, 5 pounds in just weight between my boots, my coat, my layers. I've got a little bit more added weight. When I talk about intensity, the walking, I can change the way I walk by doing what's called interval walking. So that's where I'm going to walk for a couple moments, call it 3 minutes, at a nice, slow and steady pace. I can talk like this, right? I can hold a conversation, I can move, I can breathe, I can smell, I can listen, right? Doesn't really feel like much exercise. But after that, I'm going to increase the intensity. Then I'm going to actually increase my cadence. I'm going to increase my pace. I might actually find a little more of effort in my breath work, right? It's going to feel like exercise, but only for a couple moments, right? So when they're training runners, long distance runners, right? You can't just tell somebody like, yeah, you got to train for a marathon. Like, just go and run for as long as you can, for as hard as you can, and keep the pace. Yeah, your body will find a plateau, right? It'll find that you'll be in the zone, as it's called. But you can start that exercise training. You want to do interval training, all right? So you're going to increase the pace and then slow it back down. Let your heart rate come back down. Let your breathing settle. So that's interval walking. So just 3 moments slow, 3 moments more intensely. And then there's backward walking. All right. So backward walking engages a totally different set of muscle groups in your quads, in your calves, your hamstrings. It changes your posture, right? But it also does something to your brain. Walking backwards. No, I'm cheating because I can navigate through the screen. But when you're walking backwards, your brain can't do the math. Your brain doesn't perceive the natural world in the same way. So even if you do this and back and forth, you have to engage different hemispheres, right? So a little bit of lateral eye movement, which does different things to your emotional state, to your cognitive state, but changes your balance, changes different muscle groups, and you will feel this exercise. I'm not changing my pace. Just walk backwards. Hey, if you can do 50 steps backwards, that's a great start. If you can increase it to 100, 200 steps, it's a game changer. But again, be safe, right? So a lot of different things you can do with your walking habit, but you can't call it habit unless you do it consistently, all right? So walking has amazing benefits. Walking is accessible. And if you can do it in winter, you're going to burn calories, all right? You're going to burn fat just by breathing outdoors. It takes more energy to be outside, just to regulate your own internal temperature, breathing in the cold air, right? So if you can, breathe in through your nose. There's a lot that happens. I'm not very good at doing it right now while I'm talking. But if you can breathe in through your nose, your sinuses, the whole reason we should be breathing through our nose, in and out, is because that's where all the filtration happens. That's where we regulate not only temperature, but also moisture control and all those other airborne pathogens that get filtered through our sinuses, through our nose. So if you can, breathe through your nose. So walking, it's so good for us. It's accessible, and you will thank yourself. All right. Again, the hard part is just getting out. Once you're out there, start by doing what's comfortable, what's easy, so you can put in that time, 10 to 20 minutes. And then once you've got that habit created, once you're consistent, then start to play with other ways of walking, whether it's weighted, or interval, or backwards, combination thereof, using terrain, using mediums, walking in sand, walking in snow like this, so very different on the muscles it takes in your feet, your ankles, and your hips, right? Your posture, all those things, whether you're walking in loose medium, very different than walking on a sidewalk. Very different. So walking in nature, stepping over, just stepping over, a log that's lying down, just a little bit of change, a little bit of effort, a little bit of pace, and, working on your balance, working on your flexibility, all of these things. So walking in nature for me, just the act of walking in nature is a little bit of an upscale to simply walking down the street. But the fact that I am walking in nature, those have entirely different physical, mental, emotional, spiritual benefits. All right. So opportunity to be mindful, to breathe and smell, have access to more fresh air, to more daylight. So reducing cortisol. All right. being outside, being in nature, having access to daylight, even on an overcast day like this, there's still ultraviolet rays coming through, right? So producing vitamin D, which I need for healthy bones, healthy skin, healthy organs. The fact that I'm moving is so good for me. But being mindful, being present, being in the moment, taking a moment to actually focus on my different senses, smell, listen, feel, notice. Being outside with the fresh air, access to vitamin D, increases my serotonin levels, right? Those are feel-good chemicals. So if you want benefits, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual benefits, start walking. It's so good for you. Walk outside, walk in nature. Just adds. But if you've got a membership and they've got treadmills, just walk, put in 10, 20 minutes. You'll see the benefits. It doesn't take long. All right. And yes, you will feel sore. And yes, you will feel proud. You'll feel healthy. So start a habit of walking daily. All right. Even if you can't do it a couple times a week, do it for a couple moments. Start with 5 or 10 minutes. But if you can maintain 20 minutes to a half hour, a couple times a week, you will lose the inches. You will lose the pounds. You will be stronger. You will be healthier, not just physically, but what happens to your internal processes, what happens to your emotional state, what happens to your body's chemistry will be greatly affected. You're worth it. Put in the time, put in the effort, be safe, be comfortable. Thank you so much for watching. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the capacity it is to do what it is that I'm doing by walking, being active. I'll talk to you again real soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.